Shalom, Ahab, Wa, Baraka. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shai, Waharakakadash, and double honors to the elder apostles, the prophets, and the teachers at GMS for bringing out this 100% truth for the last 30 plus years, and to the sincere Akyawa Akwa, salutations. So somebody came on my comment board, pretty much said, "You're no prophet." So of course, the first thing I'm going to do is go to his channel and see what kind of works he has, which, 90% of the time, these guys don't have anything on their channel. Zero. Be it, I've been there 15 years with comments, and then not even so much as like one video or of somebody else even. So, but anyway, he said that the Bible's a book of lies. He said that the prophets are liars. Paul's an admitted liar. And that, I pretty much don't know what I'm talking about clearly because this is the book of lies. So he's going to bring out scriptures to show me the lies. So I'm going to read the scriptures, but honestly, I'm actually going to break this down, what he's calling a lie, but I want him to he probably wouldn't see the class, but I still want to break down these scriptures correctly. So we're going to start with Romans chapter 3 and verse 4, and we're going to go to the King James Version. God forbid, yea, let Yahweh be true, but every man a liar. And see, that's where he stopped. And that was the big mistake. Because when when you go into it, it says more than that. That's not the end of the verse. Okay, so let's read it again. This is Romans 3 and 4. Yahweh forbid. Yea, let Yahweh be true, but every man a liar, as it is written, that thou mightest be justified in thy sayings, and mightest overcome when thou art judged. So he's saying that you're going to make sure that you're justified in your words, that you will overcome when they judge you. In fact, so let's get into the NLT. Even if everyone else is a liar, Yahweh is true. It doesn't say that. See, this is what I'm talking about. If everybody else lies, Yahweh is still true. So you're telling me this guy that's teaching about Yahweh, that's joined with Yahweh Shai, that's preaching the gospel, this is the liar in the book of lies? Let's keep reading. So, as the scriptures say about him, you will be proved right in what you say, and you will win your case in court. Did you understand that now? It's not saying that prophets are liars. It's saying, even if you guys all lie, I have the truth, and I will be proven right. Moving on. Now let's go to what this is his precept for every man's a liar. And you go to 1 Corinthians 20 through 24, where we're actually going to have to get some context. So let's start at verse 16. So 1 Corinthians 9 and 16. And I'm be honest, I'm not going to break this down to try to prove whatever about it. I'm going to break this scriptures down and tell you what he's actually saying. I think that might be a lot easier for me, because trying to segue back and forth, trying to deal with these comment board groups, since they make no sense, it really makes no sense to try and explain their logic, I guess. So I'm just going to break these scriptures down correctly, and then I'm going to call it a day. So let's go to, like I said, 1 Corinthians 9. We're going to start at verse 16. For though I preach the gospel, I have nothing to glory, for necessity is laid upon me. Woe unto me if I preach not the gospel. It's necessary that he preaches the gospel right now, and destruction should come unto him if he doesn't. Verse 17. For if I do this thing willingly, I have a reward. So if I'm doing it like with joyfulness and gladness of heart for the abundance of all things, I have a reward. But if against my will, a dispensation of the gospel is committed unto me. And the word committed is actually a pretty deep word. It goes into, having confidence in a moral or religious reference. So let's go back into it. Verse 18. What is my reward then? So what is the reward that he gets? For sure, verily, that means surely, for sure. Verily, that when I preach the gospel, I may make the gospel of Yahushua without charge, that I abuse not my power in the gospel. We really want to get that word, without charge. So let's see how that works out for us. And it says, without charge, G77.
Strong's G77, adopanos.
So, and this is beautiful for all of you GoFundMe camps and podcast Israelites, the Cash App Israelites. I want you to hear this very carefully. It says, costless, without expense, requiring no outlay, costing nothing. Woo! That literally gets rid of everybody except for GMS. GMS don't take, you don't see no Cash App, no things, nothing posted like that. If you wanted to give alms to the brother, you would literally have to go to that brother and ask him personally, how can I give you an alms? Straight up. And nobody's out there posting, get me some GoFundMe, Cash App me, give me a super thanks, give me a double thanks, give me a wow thanks. No. See, this is without charge. And yes, it means what it says, without pay. It costs us nothing. So we shouldn't. And what did it tell you after that? What did it say right after that? It said, it costs nothing. So I'm going to teach about Yahushua HaMashiach for free, that I abuse not my power in the gospel. Everybody's doomed. Anybody abusing their power by charging money. Let me get that offering plate out there like all the Christians. Let me get that Cash App like all of you podcast Israelites. All of you are the same. GoFundMe. I don't care what religion you are. You guys are on a GoFundMe app. Go find mine. I don't have one. I don't need anything from anybody other than you to hear the words that I teach out of this book. And Yahweh Bahashem Yahushai promised that he would take care of the rest. That's all there is to it. So, verily that when I preach the gospel, I may make the gospel of Yahushai without charge. Not make the gospel about soil and seed, my brother. You see what I'm saying? So this has nothing to do with being a liar. This has something to do with it's a necessary that he teaches and that he teaches a certain way. So when you have comment-born groupies that come on, go to their channel first and see, because these motherfuckers don't know anything. These guys literally don't know anything, and then they're mad about it. And usually the reason why you're mad is because you have a reprobate mind. You are destined for failure. The Most High already rejected you. And that's what a reprobate mind is. You're already rejected of Yahweh. And that's why you can't get this. That's why, if a Gentile comes back to the truth, I'm going to tell you right now, there is no Gentile that is a heathen from a different nation that's going to start following the laws. It says it. Nobody's going to fucking listen. Will be hated for his name's sake. Not, the Gentiles. No. You know why? Because it even tells you in the book of Matthew, I speak in parable. I speak so they don't understand what I'm saying because I don't fucking want them to. That's why they don't understand. But if they did understand, they would repent and I would have to save them. You guys need to look some stuff up. You're never, ever on this side until your destruction. You're not going to follow the instructions. So anybody trying to follow the instructions and they're doing it sincerely with joyful and gladness of heart, that is Romans 8:16. That is Romans 8:16. The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we're the children of Yahweh. You other nations will refuse, deny, and reject this truth, and then you'll pick it apart. You'll pull out the little pieces that you want, and then you'll throw everything else back. And that is called adding to and taking away from the scriptures, which goes into Revelation 22:18 and 19. You are not going to make it no matter what. You'll never be able to make it because he put it in your mind to think differently if you can't understand that. Now, without charge, you guys worship money. So you're never going to be able to worship Yahweh and money. You can't worship mammon and God. It tells you that in the scriptures also. In fact, let's get it. So we're not paraphrasing. You can't worship mammon and God. No internet connection now. Okay. Well, we rough paraphrased it. That you can't worship money and God. So let's move on. Verse 19. And though I be free from all men, I have made myself unto all that I might gain more. I'm sorry, I skipped the word. For though I be a free Salakia. 1 Corinthians chapter 9, verse 19, and it reads, for though I be free from all men, yet I have made myself servant unto all, that I might gain more. So he said, now, and that's beautiful too, so let's just get that. This is Mark chapter 10, starting at verse 42. But Yahushua called them to him and saith unto them, ye know that they which are accounted to rule over the Gentiles exercise lordship over them, and their great ones exercise authority upon them. But so shall it not be among you. But whosoever will be great among you shall be your minister. What did he say? I'm great, but I've made myself a servant, right? Okay, let's keep reading. And whosoever of you will be the chiefest shall be servant of all. For even the Son of Man, verse 45, for even the Son of Man came not to be ministered unto, but to minister, and to give his life a ransom for many. So let's and I get it. Guys probably don't understand what I just said right there. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to the Amplified Bible, which I love this Bible. Man, this thing is great. And we're gonna read it again. So this is Mark chapter 10. We're going to read it again starting at verse 43. And like I said, I'm going to use the Amplified Bible. But this is not to be so among you. So let's start at 42. Sorry, Salakia. But Yahushua called them to him and said to them, you know that those who are recognized as governing and are supposed to rule the Gentiles, the nations, lord it over them, ruling with absolute power, holding them in subjection, and their great men exercise authority and dominion over him. Okay, so this is how the other people rule. Okay, but now listen to what Yahushua says. But this is not to be so among you. Instead, whoever desires to be great among you must be your servant. That's simple. Whoever desires to be great among you must be your servant. And so That's why when you go back into verse 19 in 1 Corinthians chapter 9, for though I be free from all men, I have made myself, have I made myself servant unto all, that I might gain the more. So why? Because whoever will be great among you must be your servant. So he's saying, I'm making myself into a servant that I might gain the more. I'm making myself. Why would you make yourself into a servant? Let me read it. Let me finish reading. But this is not to be so among you. Instead, whoever desires to be great among you must be your servant. And whoever wishes, now let's keep reading. Whoever wishes most important and first in rank among you must be a slave to all. So in other words, you've got to be there for everybody. If you want to be the top guy of everybody, you got to be there for everybody. That's what he means, a slave to all. You got to be out there ministering this truth, highways and hedges, in season, out of season, never looking back, never take your hands off the plow. Let's keep reading. Verse 45. For even the Son, and the word even is an old English word. So for indeed, the Son of Man came not to have service rendered to him, but to serve. So Paul's not lying about anything. He's coming out here to serve. He's coming out here to do it the way Yahushua explained how to do it, but to serve, okay? And rendered to him, but let me start over. Verse 45. For even the Son of Man came not to have service rendered to him, but to serve, and to give his life as a ransom instead of many. So you see, so what he's saying is, this is the Yahushua came in, and what did he do? He came in and ministered. He made himself a servant unto man. And then he was taken out as the perfect sacrifice. So if we want to be great among men, we got to do it the way Yahushua explained it. So let's go back to Corinth. Now that we know what's really going on here, he's saying it's necessary that I teach you a certain way, that I humble myself all the way down to the bottom. If I think I'm great, I need to become the less. I need to put myself all the way down there the way Yahushua did. In fact, if thou desire to teach, thou should become a student again. What chapter and verse? So let's get it. This is Matthew. We'll get it. It's in the Living Bible. A student is not greater than his teacher. A servant is not above his master. The student shares his teacher's fate. The servant shares his master's. And since I, the master of the household, have been called Satan, how much more will you? But don't be afraid of those who threaten you, for the time is coming when the truth will be revealed. Their secret plots will become public information. See, that is not what I was looking for. And that's the only one they have. See, that was stupid. Maybe there it is. I'm sorry, Salakia, guys. It's Hebrews 5 and 12. Hebrews 5 and 12. The student's not greater than the teacher. That was wrong. That's not the one I wanted to bring out. I just kind of jumped in there and read it anyway, but I need to be a little bit more careful next time. So Salakia for that. Let's go over to Hebrews 5 and 12. Because what I was saying is that you got to make yourself the lesser among people if you find yourself to be great. And I want to bring it out really quick. Hebrews 5 and 12. For the time ye ought to be teachers, Ye have need that someone teach you again, which be the first principles of the oracles of Yahweh, and are become such as have need of milk and not strong meat. So he's saying, even if you want to be a teacher, it's just the same thing. As you want to, if you're great in the kingdom, you have to put yourself back in the seat of somebody that is lower. The teacher, you're a great teacher. Well, the greatest teacher is the best student. The greatest leader is the best servant. So that's what Corinthians chapter 9 is really getting into. So now let's get into the part where he said that this is how I know Paul is a liar. So when we go into verse 20, it says, and unto the Jews I became as a Jew. So he's saying you're a liar because you said that. No, he's saying it's necessary that I teach you. So when I get around the Jews, I'm going to be doing what the Jews do. That's simple. So I'll be as the Jews, that I might gain the Jews, to them that are under the law, as under the law, that I might gain them that are under the law. He's saying I'm going to be like these guys so that I might persuade them to come back to this 100% truth. And to them that are without law, as without law, being without law of Yahweh, but under the law to Christ, that I might gain them that are without law. So he's trying to bring everybody back to the truth. And it shows you, oh, they're without Yahweh's law, but they're under the law of Christ. But he wants to gain them that are without law. So he wants to put them back in the right place too. So you Christians are completely wrong too. You guys are lawless. You guys are lawless. And you know I can't keep God's law or he'll hate me. Who in the hell taught you that? Because that is not in the Bible. Two more verses and we're done. To the weak I became to the weak became I as weak, that I might gain the weak. I am made all things to all men, that I might by all means save some. Why? He's not everybody's gonna come back to this truth, but the children. And that brings us back into Romans 8:16. The Spirit itself beareth witness with our spirit that we are the children of Yahweh. So those are the people that he's going to gain. That's who he's looking for. That he might gain some of the people that are Israelites that are willing to come back to the truth. Verse 23. And this I do for the gospel's sake, that I might be partaker thereof with you. And what is he talking about? The kingdom. He wants to get you out of the stupid mindset that you're in, bring you back to the truth, that you can both go into the kingdom together. And with that being said, if you got eyes to see and ears to hear, I hope you got something out of the short message. Shalom.